The Conservative Political Action Conference, also known as CPAC, starts Thursday in Orlando, Florida. The annual event is considered highly influential within the Republican Party. It will feature speeches from prominent members of the GOP and some potential 2024 hopefuls. Speakers include Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and Texas Senator Ted Cruz. But any potential candidate may need to contend with former President Trump. He's expected to close out CPAC on Sunday. It will mark his first public speech since leaving office last month. According to Axios, he plans to tell the party that he is the, quote, presumptive 2024 nominee. Aubrey Jewett joins me now. He is a professor of political science at the University of Central Florida. And Professor Jewett is in Orlando, where CPAC is taking place. Professor, welcome. Thanks very much for being with us.
Great to be here.
So in 2016, then candidate Donald Trump refused to attend CPAC when he was battling for the Republican nomination. How will this year's event be different from years past?
Yeah, it's really quite amazing how time changes and how CPAC evolves from going in 2016, Donald Trump not even appearing, to this year's event really is all about Donald Trump, about his continuing impact on the party. They'll be looking back. I think most of the largest number of panels, I think 7 is what I counted, are going to be looking back at the election and claims of election fraud and election reform. And in some ways, of course, this is really a big difference. In other ways, it is just CPAC evolving over time. You know, when it first started in 1974, Ronald Reagan was one of the first speakers. In the late 2000s, Mitt Romney was a very popular speaker, one of the most popular people. He's not even invited. In fact, the leader of CPAC said he couldn't guarantee his personal safety if he came. And then for a while in the early 2010s, it was either Rand or Ron Paul for about 4 or 5 years was the most popular. So it's evolved, and this time it's all about Trump, Trump's agenda, and who he's going to back in the upcoming elections in the midterms and in 2024.
So Mr. Trump won Florida in 2020 by about 3 percentage points. How have we seen him shape the Republican Party there since he's entered office?
Well, he's been enormously influential, primarily through the governor, Ron DeSantis, who has really been a Trump acolyte. And Governor DeSantis really owes his winning to Donald Trump. Going back to the Republican primary for governor, we had an agriculture commissioner who was the prohibitive favorite at the time, Adam Putnam. And DeSantis was a fairly little-known congressman from Northeast Florida. And then when Trump endorsed him, DeSantis jumped to the lead and never looked back and ended up winning that primary by 20 points. And then, of course, he also held on to Trump's coattails in the general election and won in a squeaker that demanded a recount. So Trump's been influential, I think, quite a bit on the party in Florida, but specifically through Governor DeSantis and some of the other party organizations, county and state.
Well, Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott also heads the national committee that works to elect members of the GOP to the Senate. And this week he called for party unity amid disagreements over support for Mr. Trump. Now, that divide was on full display earlier this week. Here's a clip of House leadership. Let's take a look.
Do you believe President Trump should be speaking, or former President Trump should be speaking at CPAC this weekend?
Yes, he should.
Congresswoman Cheney?
That's up to CPAC. I've been clear in my views about President Trump and the extent to which following January 6th, I don't believe that he should be playing a role in the future of the party or the country.
On that high note, thank you all very much.
What is the political calculus for Republicans in both chambers of Congress, not just in 2024, but ahead of midterms next year?
Well, I think the political calculus is actually pretty simple as of this minute, and that is that President Trump is here to stay as long as he wants to stay and as long as a large majority of Republican voters and Republican base, including conservatives at CPAC, continue to back President Trump, and the polls suggest that they do. Some polls have said that some of the Republican base likes him so much that if Trump was to leave the party, they'd go with him and start a new party. So again, I think the political calculus for most Republicans who are in office now is to, as best they can, stay on President Trump's good side. A few have, of course, crossed him. None of them are at CPAC currently. Even some of his most loyal allies, like Mike Pence, are not coming to CPAC right now. So, yeah, to me, the political calculus, if you're a Republican right now, even if you don't like President Trump, for the most part, you need to support him. And part of the party unity will be just accepting that Trump is a big part of the party and that he is influencing the agenda and the winners and who's going to run. People might get primaried.
So with that in mind, Senator Scott's message was intended for all GOP lawmakers, but are there any signs of how much cooperation there will be on that from those in his own state, people like Congressman Matt Gaetz or Senator Marco Rubio, both of whom are up for re-election in 2022?
Yeah, calls for unity, I think, will mostly mean you have to rally around President Trump. And for Matt Gaetz, that's pretty easy because that's what he's been doing for some time now. He's a big Trump supporter. So for him, unity means, hey, for people that criticize Trump or don't like Trump, that means you need to get on board and accept that he's influential and that he's here to stay and that he's helped the party, even though we lost this past election. Well, some people don't even, in the Republican circles, don't even admit that. And I'm sorry, did you ask about Scott or Rubio for the second person?
I asked about Rubio, Senator Rubio, because interestingly, if I read correctly, he's not going to be at CPAC.
Correct. Yeah. For Marco Rubio has been a movement conservative for many years, going back to the Florida legislature when he was Speaker of the House. But he's not coming to CPAC this year. But I do think that he has had a tenuous relationship with President Trump. In some ways, they're frenemies. Going back to 2016 when Rubio was trying to become the presidential nominee and Trump just walloped him, including right here in his home state of Florida. Now, Trump, of course, is a Floridian as well. But since then, Rubio has gotten back in the good graces of the party. He saved the Republican seat in 2016, the Senate seat. And he has, for the most part, worked fairly closely with Trump and tried to avoid saying too many critical things about him. So I think Rubio will be on board for the most part.
Well, this week, a private poll first obtained by Politico found Florida Republicans overwhelmingly choosing Governor Ron DeSantis in a hypothetical presidential primary over some other well-known contenders from Florida. Now, DeSantis made a nearly 40% jump in this survey since just July. What changed to boost his popularity?
Well, I think the main thing that's changed within Republican circles is his reaction, his response to the COVID pandemic. And they like what they see. I mean, he basically has followed President Trump and the policies that President Trump was putting in place, or maybe aren't even formal policies, but the things that President Trump was saying, like disdaining masks, saying that we needed to get reopened, the economy reopened, the schools reopening. And so he's been very forceful in that. And then he's been upfront in terms of getting vaccines out there. Florida's only about average, if you look at the number of vaccines we've given per capita. But he's done, as a governor, a good job of taking a lot of political credit for some of the successes that we've had. And so that's been the big change within Republican circles. They really like that he has been somewhat defiant against public opinion and some scientific opinion, and he's gone his own way in terms of reopening the state, and a lot of Republicans like that a lot. And bottom line also is he is really a Trump acolyte. Trump helped him get elected, and then DeSantis did his best and was successful in helping Trump win Florida. Trump didn't win overall, but he did win Florida, and he won it by more than he won the first time.
All right, well, it'll certainly be fascinating to see and hear what former President Trump says this weekend. We know you'll be watching it closely. Professor Aubrey Jewett, Professor, thanks very much.
Thank you.